I had to really put the cameras there so you guys can see me on the bench, but you guys should really be looking at that over there, and I really couldn't do both. I wasn't gonna move this bench because it looks like it's probably 200 pounds. I can move this over. Currently in one of my favorite spots here in David Thompson Country, and you've probably guessed it just by looking at the background, and this is Preacher's Point. It's a lovely place to camp. It's kind of a wide open space, and there's like two little loops on the north side and there's a couple little loops on the south side. This is some of the best camping you'll have here in David Thompson Country. So I'm here this weekend because I have an amazing video lined up for you guys today. We're continuing on our cabin series, which we started in 2023. First of all, we're going to go and do a little hike at Tuff Ridge. We did this a few years ago and it was extremely windy. I don't even know if we'll be able to make it up there today because Aurum Lake got its first true snowfall of the season. So if it's covered in snow, we might not do the whole thing, but I wanted to show you guys that you can kind of do it at any time of the year. And then we're gonna go right in the middle of Aurum Lake. Right beside the Clyde River, there's a gorgeous little lodge there, and it's called the Aurum Lodge. So we're gonna stay the night there. They even have a couple little trails and things you can go check out. It reminds me of Windy Point. So it's like the lodge has its own little point that you can go and explore and hike. And there's a bunch of lookouts, and there's a bunch of little benches you can sit. There's even a tiny little waterfall back in there. So we're gonna go check that out. So if you're out here exploring in David Thompson Country, you don't even need to go all the way back to Nordegg if you're hungry. Just go back to the Aurum Lodge. They even have a chef that's full-time. So it's kind of an amazing opportunity. So let's not waste any time. I need to put my hiking boots on. We're gonna go do the Tuff Ridge. And then I can't wait to show you guys all about the Aurum Lodge. Think of this view. This is not quite the top of Tuff Ridge. We got a little bit of a snowfall last night. I have the wrong boots to get up in here. So keep in mind to use your proper boots, especially if you're hiking in the winter. Usually what happens is your summer boots, if they have really hard soles, it's really, really slippery on the snow. I had a hard time just coming this last little bit here, sliding all over the place. But my winter boots have a soft sole. I could have ran up that little bit of snow. But we'd made a video of the Tuff Ridge before, and I wanted to see if we could do it kind of late in the year. We are almost in November. This is like 5.5 kilometers to get up to the first ridge. And then you could do like a big loop as well and come all the way back down to Maligne Lake. And that'll be like a 14-kilometer loop all the way back down. So for us, we're just gonna do we did about 5.25 kilometers. You have a great view, which is kind of surprising because this is a heavily forested ridge that comes up here. There's a bunch of little tiny openings the whole way, and you get the gorgeous view with the mountains in the back here and the range in front with the North Saskatchewan River crossing through here and the ecological plains back there. Like, it's just a super view. So this is just one good example of an advanced hike you can do if you come stay at the Aurum Lodge. There's even harder hikes than this one. 2 o'clock ridge I found way harder for some reason. There was no lulls and gaps in the hike, so you're kind of going steep the whole way. This one I find it's an advanced hike, but it's not as far, and you do get a few lulls where it kind of flattens out. Even if it's just for a few hundred meters, it gives you time to kind of like not peter out and keep on going. So I came all the way up here also to talk to you about Rival Trade Brewing that actually sponsored this video. And if you guys want microbrewery that's local and you want to support local, then they're right in Rocky Mountain House. Company is relatively young. I think they only started in 2020 and they only started making beer in 2021. So they supplied us with some cool refreshments to use during the weekend. Normally it's a kind of a hiking tradition to have a summit beer, but right now it's like -2 and I'm really tempted to open this, but I don't know if I want to because it's super cold. So I think maybe we're gonna go back down to the cabin where it's warmer, and then we'll be able to try the local barley here. So let's get off this cold mountain. I'm gonna go back to the Aurum Lodge and show you guys what that's all about. This fantastic view that I have right in front of me here. So as you leave the Aurum Lodge, there's a couple lookouts and there's a trail that kind of follows all of them. And then the trail kind of ends right here. They have their own windy point. As you can tell right now, super windy. This is kind of normal when you come and visit Abraham Lake. There's all the biggest ranges of the Rockies right ahead of me. All of the hot air and cold air mixing. This just makes a huge channel. And this channel just brings all of the wind right in one little narrow spot, which is right here. Just from behind me over there, you can actually see the real windy point. All along this cool little trail, there's a couple of benches and you can just sit here and enjoy the sunset. This is kind of like the perfect little spot for sunrise and sunset photography. This is something that you can come and check out after you've had a good meal and you just want to go and take a walk to digest your food. This is like A1. Doesn't get any better than this. And as for some of the hikes that you can do here, this is like the perfect location, because if you don't want to stay in a campground, this might be the only lodge where you actually are close to all the cool hikes in the area. You can actually go up the Cline River on both sides. It's right close to here, right beside the Rockies Heli, and you can hike up there for several kilometers. There's Vision Quest, which is right there, and then you're also right beside White Ghost Falls. Start at the transfer station, you weave down, and there's like a cool little gorge hidden down in the wooded area. So it's a relatively easy hike. Vision Quest, we made a video for David Thompson Country where we went to the summit. It's a very difficult hike, but it's definitely worth the view. So if you're an experienced hiker, definitely go do Vision Quest. So if you keep going west from here, you're gonna go all the way to the Kootenay Ecological Plains. In that area, you can do Sifler Falls, and then you can go up to Maligne Lake, and you can go all the way up to Tuff Ridge and 2 O'Clock Ridge. So if you want to have more ideas for hikes to do in the area, go look at my YouTube channel and find the David Thompson Country playlist and scroll through, because you're gonna find dozens of examples of all these different cool waterfalls, various peaks, and all sorts of canyons and trails you can do in the summer and in the winter. And this is a perfect base camp to do all your activities here in David Thompson Country. Well, look at this cute little waterfall. And even though it's not snowing yet, you can tell it's starting to get cold in late October, because this water here, since we don't have a whole lot of sunlight, it's already caking into a bunch of ice all over the place. So this is gonna turn into some crazy ice formations in the next month or so. But this little waterfall is only about 300 or 400 meters away from the Aurum Lodge. If you come all the way down to the water, and then instead of going back towards the lake, come back towards the road, and you'll see a nice little trail that leads all the way up to here. And this is probably the tiniest waterfall in David Thompson Country, because I didn't even know this was here. We just kind of heard some noise and decided to come and check it out. And if you want to see more waterfalls like this in David Thompson, there's a ton of them. There's Crescent Falls, where they just built a nice little ramp for you to go and check it out. And you go keep coming westward, you'll find Tershishner Falls, which is only a few kilometers in. Same thing, a little bit of a gorge with 2 platforms that go in, and you can go check out All Stones Creek. There's a little waterfall at the end there. If you want to get real adventurous at the Thompson Creek, you follow that all the way up, and you're gonna find a cool waterfall there, but that one's a little bit more steep. Definitely not recommended in the winter. But all the other ones that I mentioned, there's people that come and check out these waterfalls in the summer and in the winter, and then you can come and see how one little tiny creek can turn into a huge thing covered in ice. This is quite the fantastic view here. And I am sitting at one of the 4 or 5 lookouts they have here. And the Aurum Lodge is right behind me, right there. That's the main building. This is kind of the place that you don't want to leave. I can just stay here forever. Quite windy, but that's normal, par for the course at Abraham Lake. But if you come here on a windy day, you can actually come and explore some waterfalls and canyons and not get exposed to the wind at all, really. So we stayed the night here at the Aurum Lodge and had an amazing time. There's like a little green sign alongside the highway. It says Aurum Lodge, and you come down, take your time driving down. There's a few steep spots, and if there's snow on the road, it can get slippery, so just take your time. And then the first building you're gonna see is the Aurum Lodge. So on the main floor of the lodge, they have full kitchen that they're currently renovating with a dining room. And right over top of the kitchen and the dining room, there's 5 rooms there. If you look out the window, you're gonna get this amazing view right here. If you stay inside of the rooms, you can actually get breakfast included. Get up out of bed in the morning in your little room, and then you can have this gorgeous view, go downstairs, have some breakfast, and then go out and explore. Right across the parking lot, you're gonna find like a maintenance garage where they keep all the things they need to run the whole lodge. Over top of there, there's actually one large kind of suite that they rent the whole thing together. And then there's a cute little cabin. There's like a little driveway you can drive in behind. It's kind of split in 2. It's quite spacious. Inside the little cabins, you have one big bed, and there's a couple chairs and a table, and there's a nice little wood stove in the corner to keep you right toasty. They have all the amenities you would have in a regular house. They'll have a stove and a fridge and running water, hot water, running toilets, flush toilets, and a shower. This is one of the top tier cabins here in David Thompson Country just for its location, because I don't know any other place that you can rent a cabin all year round where you're literally on the lake. So I'd like to thank Sophie and Luke, who own the Aurum Lodge, for letting us stay here for the weekend and showing you guys all the cool things you can do to explore David Thompson Country. And I'd also like to thank Rival Trade Brewing Company here for sponsoring us in this video. They're a little microbrewery right in Rocky Mountain House that are fairly new. So if you want to support local, go support them. And it's time to enjoy their local barley. Delicious. Well, this is local barley. And that behind me there is the Aurum Lodge. And that in front of me is Abraham Lake. And I'm Eric Tremblay, and these are my adventures. Peace out, everyone.